Hi, everyone, and welcome to an easy 10-minute yoga practice that's perfect for winding down your evening. Today's practice is going to focus on relieving back pain. Usually, these morning and evening classes are come as you are, nothing fancy needed, but for today, you will need some props just so that it can be more restorative. So either 2 blankets, towels, or if you have 1 bolster, that would work. And also 1 block for support. Let's begin. Let's come to lying prone, hands underneath forehead. Join your legs together. Join your legs together. Moving cobra bhujangasana, but with the legs together, so the pelvis is going to be nice and a little bit too stable, so you're not going to move very much. This is to warm up the back muscles, so take your hands across from your chest, and you're only going to be lifting up to your low ribs, not very high. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. You might feel really confined. That's perfect. Inhale up and exhale down. So what we're doing is we're letting the muscles that are tight in our back engage and then teaching them, okay, now engage and release. Engage and release. Inhale and exhale. Now take your legs apart, hip bone width apart, and same thing, moving bhujangasana. Inhale, exhale. Take your hands underneath your forehead, rest. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, press yourself up to hands and knees. You may need a blanket if you have sensitive knees. Otherwise, just come to hands and knees and step your right leg forward. Everyone together, engage your legs strongly, pulling them in towards the midline, pulling up on your pelvic floor so you won't fall over. Hands to your thighs. Come upright. And then clasp your hands behind you and straighten the arms. You may want to grab a blanket and put it between your hands if you're tight in the shoulders. And then begin to take your hips forward just to that point that feels good for you. Keep pulling up on the top of those hip bones. And then let's come to the other side by bringing our hands to the floor and changing, stepping left leg forward, clasping the hands behind you, fingers clasped the other way around this time. So other index fingers on top. And start leaning the pelvis forward, lift up on the pelvic floor. And release. Come on to your backs. But make sure that you have your block handy. Knees bent, feet flat. Setubandha Sarvangasana, or a bridge pose. We're going to focus here on our pelvis. Of course, there's a lot going on in the upper back, but feet parallel first. So make sure you look at your feet. They're parallel, they're hip bone width apart, the knees stay in over the ankles. Then you inhale, lift your hips. To make this more restorative, you grab your block Level 3, place it underneath your sacrum. That's a bone. So make sure that it's underneath the bone, that triangle shaped bone. And then palms can go upward. If you want this more active today, you would not use the block and you could clasp your hands like we did up with Anjaneyasana, the asana we just did. And we're holding here. So anytime if it's too intense and you don't have a block, you can lower down and join us again. Press down through the feet. Inhale, lift your hips. Release your block if you used it. Gently lower the hips. Take a breath. Roll to your right side and grab your bolster or your 2 blankets, whatever you decided to get. And you're placing them across, right in the middle of your mat, crosswise. Grab your block and place it up here. Gotta kind of position them right. Sometimes we get really tight in our mid back, so this is for that. We're lying on our left side first. So the left ribs are going to be supported by the blankets. And then we're going to stretch this left arm out, palm up. You can use the block underneath the head if you need it. Then you reach, take the right hand either here or bring it overhead. Then straighten the leg and reach the right leg so that it's in line with the left leg. And then breathe. Take your attention right to wherever you're feeling tension in your mid back. And imagine you could breathe space into it. Bring your right hand back underneath your right shoulder on the floor. Bend your knees and press yourself up. And then you can either just turn or you can go on to the other side, whichever way you'd like to go. Setting yourself up the same way. So the right hand palm goes up. Left hand overhead, palms together, feet together. Take your hand underneath your shoulder on the floor to press yourself up to a sitting position so that you can move your bolster. So move your block and move your bolster so that it is longwise on your mat. Now you can always grab more bolsters if you would like this more intense. Drop a blanket off if you want it less intense, and that goes for all of them. And then sit right in front. Press down through your hands. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, lean up and back. Shoulders on the back, and make sure that no props are in the way so that you can take your arms and externally rotate them so the palms are face up. Bend your knees for a moment so you can take your pelvis, lift it up, posterior tilt, set it down, and then straighten the legs. Close your eyes. If you like this video, make sure that you click subscribe if you haven't already, and click the like button. And then let me know in the comments which things worked for you. What do you do when you have low back tension? What do you do to release it? Let me know in the comments. And thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Namaste.